Today's episode of General Biology is brought to you by Audible. Audible is the premier... Wait a minute, sorry, wrong thing. Welcome back to General Biology, everybody. Today's topic is development part 2, so we're going to continue right where we left off with development. We will continue the process of embryonic development today, ultimately ending with birth. Our 3 sections today are going to be gastrulation, where we're going to sequence, compare and contrast in HD, different patterns of gastrulation. Then we'll get into organogenesis, sequence, compare and contrast in HD, the processes of organogenesis, and specifically neurulation. And the last thing we'll talk about today is human development. We're not going to get all the way into human development today, but there are a few stages that we'll talk about. So for the things that we talk about, sequence the processes, compare and contrast the stages, and hypothesize and diagnose what's going on when we change something in those specific parts of human development that we cover. Last time, we talked about animal development through the process of cleavage, which, if you remember, is a very rapid stage of cell division where there's no growth in between cell division. So we go back and forth between M phase and S phase with no growth. So the structure, the embryo that results from cleavage, is about the same size as the zygote immediately after fertilization. Once we get through that stage and we have a structure called a blastula, that's a hollow sphere, you kind of go back to normal in terms of cell division. So you're going to slow down the process and you're going to start using a typical cell cycle. So you have M phase and S phase just like before, but we also have G1 and G2. The processes that we're going to talk about today can be broadly grouped under the heading of morphinogenesis. Morphinogenesis refers to cell and tissue-based processes where the animal body starts to specialize and differentiate. So you have the different tissues, organs, and ultimately organ systems are going to start forming through this process of morphinogenesis. Basically, you go from an embryo that is largely undifferentiated to an embryo that has most of its component parts specialized to do their particular functions. So today we're going to talk about gastrulation and organogenesis, and in those 2 stages, that's where we really see morphinogenesis taking place. So that's where we're going to go from here.